Okay, let's dive in. You brought us some really fascinating source material today. It's all about decentralized finance, DeFi, specifically on the XRP ledger.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that space. And this document, it zeroes in on one project called XRP Ocean.
XRP Ocean.
Yep.
Okay. And the source positions it as, well, a DeFi protocol aiming for things like liquidity, trading, yield farming, kind of like a Uniswap for the XRP.
Yeah, that's the comparison they draw, setting it up as potentially a key piece of infrastructure there.
And it's not just theoretical. The document says it pre-launched recently, and the official launch was, wow, June 2nd, 2025,
And it
today.
points to pretty rapid growth early on, says that's driven a lot by referrals and these XRP
Right,
airdrops.
those initial incentives. Sounds like a way to get users in the door quickly.
Absolutely. And they mentioned that unmatched airdrops get burned, which is, pretty clear nudge to get people engaged right away.
So our mission for this deep dive, using the document you shared, is to really unpack this XRP Ocean compensation plan, step by step.
Yeah, let's break it down. We want you, the listener, to understand exactly how it works, the different ways they say you can earn, and maybe what's behind some of these rules.
Okay, so let's start where the document starts, the very beginning,
Yeah,
the entry point.
right. And this first step is, well, the source makes it sound absolutely critical. You have to activate your airdrop. And you do that with a deposit.
Everything starts with depositing your own XRP.
Mm-hmm. That's the trigger. The document talks about maybe seeing airdropped XRP in, say, a Swift wallet, but it's not really yours to use until you add your own funds, maybe from a XAman wallet, for instance.
Your first deposit is the key, it says, unlocks the airdrop.
Exactly. And they give three simple scenarios. You deposit the same amount as the airdrop, you deposit more, or you deposit less. Basic stuff.
But here's where it gets interesting, I think. It's not just how much you deposit first time around.
No, it's the timing of that very first deposit. The document calls this the airdrop activation criteria.
And this feels like a really important design choice.
It is. It's a sliding scale. Depends how fast you act after getting the airdrop.
So what's the scale look like?
Okay, so within 48 hours, you can unlock 100% of the airdrop.
2 days? Okay.
Wait up to 5 days, it drops to 80%. Up to 8 days, it's 60%.
Getting smaller.
Yeah. Up to 11 days, only 40%. And if you wait the full 2 weeks, up to 14 days, just 20% left.
And after 14 days.
Oof, it's gone. Expires.
Oh.
Or burned, as they say. You snooze, you lose, basically.
Wow, okay. Strong incentive to move quickly.
Very strong. The source uses this analogy. Your airdrop is the fuel. How far you go depends on what you add, which highlights that the deposit makes the airdrop actually do something.
And there's some important notes here too, right, in the instructions section.
Yeah, key things. You only get one chance to activate with that first deposit.
Just the first one.
And only the part that's actually matched based on these rules, the timing and the amount, becomes usable XRP in your position.
Okay, the document has examples. Let's walk through one. Say you got 100 XRP airdropped.
Right. Scenario 1. You act fast. Within 48 hours. You deposit 100 XRP yourself.
Matching it.
Yep. Since you're within the 100% time window, you unlock the full 100 airdropped XRP, your total starting position. 200 XRP, your 100 plus the 100 airdrop.
Makes sense. Now, what if you wait, say, day 14?
Okay, day 14. Your eligibility is only 20%. Now, if you still want to unlock that entire 100 airdropped XRP, well, 100 is 20% of what?
Off 500.
Exactly. You'd need to deposit 500 XRP of your own money just to unlock the same 100 airdrop. Your total position would be 600 XRP then. Your 500 plus the 100 airdrop.
Wow, that's a huge difference just for waiting 2 weeks.
It is. And what if you only deposit 100 XRP on day 14?
Then you'd only unlock 20% of your 100 deposit, which is 20 XRP from the airdrop.
Precisely, because you're capped by the 20% time window and the amount you deposited. So your position would just be 120 XRP, your 100 plus only 20 of the airdrop.
So the takeaway is crystal clear. Speed pays off a lot.
Definitely. Deposit sooner. Activate more airdrop with less of your own XRP. Wait longer, you need way more XRP to get the same benefit, or you just get less of the airdrop. It's designed to get people in and active immediately.
Okay, so that's the entry. Getting your airdrop activated. What happens next? How do you earn day to day?
Right, so once you've got that initial position set up, the focus shifts. It's about daily LP rewards and something called auto-positioning.
LP rewards, liquidity provider rewards.
Yeah, standard DeFi concept. The flow diagram shows you positioning XRP in the LP wallet. That seems to be the main action for earning.
And once it's positioned, you start earning daily.
Correct. The document says you can earn up to 0.6% after positioning XRP, daily rewards.
Up to 0.6%. And this auto-positioning feature.
That's described as the way to activate daily compounding. So your earnings potentially get added back automatically to earn more, up to that 0.6% cap.
Okay, but how do you reach that 0.6%? Does everyone get that?
No, it depends on how much XRP you have positioned. There are tiers.
Ah, tiers again.
Yep. So if you have 9 XRP or more positioned, you're eligible for up to 0.3% daily.
Okay, starting point.
Get over the 1,000 XRP position, that potential cap goes up to 0.4% daily.
Right.
5,000 XRP or more positioned, up to 0.5%.
And the top tier.
To potentially hit that max 0.6% daily, you need 11,000 XRP or more positioned in the LP wallet. And these rewards, they're paid out daily.
So bigger positions are incentivized with higher potential daily earning rates, scales with the liquidity you provide.
Exactly. Now, alongside the earning, there's a feature the document really plays up. For confidence building, the XRP Ocean Zero Risk Policy.
Zero risk. Sounds good. What does it do?
It's presented as a core benefit, designed to protect your initial position funds while you're earning those LP rewards.
Protect your principal. How's it work?
It says it activates automatically when you position funds. The idea is your initial stake is safe while you earn.
Okay, a safety net. But does it last forever?
No. It's active while your zero risk is live, but it gets deactivated. The trigger is when your position funds are fully recovered.
Meaning, you've earned back 100% of your initial deposit through LP rewards.
That's exactly it. Once your total LP earnings equal your initial deposit, the protection turns off. The logic seems to be, well, you've gotten your principal back through yield, so the risk to that initial capital is gone.
Okay, that makes sense. It protects you until you're whole again, based on earnings. The benefit is peace of mind.
Yeah, confidence. Knowing your initial capital is shielded until you've earned it back.
And how does this tie into getting your money out? They mentioned flexibility.
Right, the earn freely anytime pull out ideas.
Yeah.
You can redeem your principal anytime.
Anytime. Okay, but what happens if you pull out while this zero risk policy is still active, before you've earned back 100%?
Good question. The source is specific here. It says you'll receive your principal amount, the incentives you've already taken.
Ah, so you get your initial deposit back minus any rewards you already withdrew.
Exactly. And right after that, it says no penalty, no risk for this specific scenario. So it prevents gaming the system. You can't take rewards and get the full principal back early. It protects your initial deposit amount.
Got it. Protects the principal, less what you've already skimmed off in profit.
Right. And it aligns incentives. Now, there's usually a 10% ecosystem contribution mention for development. But the document highlights if you exit under the zero risk policy before that 100% recovery, you get 100% of your deposit back. No contribution, no deductions.
Okay, so that contribution only applies to earnings or exits after the zero risk period ends.
Yeah.
That really emphasizes the protection is squarely on the initial deposit.
It does. Seems like a strategic move to lower the perceived risk for newcomers. Build that initial trust.
Makes sense. Okay, so we have daily earnings, tiers, and this zero risk policy. Is there anything else for boosting your own earnings?
Yes, there's one specific option mentioned.
Yeah.
You can boost your LP rewards up to 200%.
Up to 200%. Wow. What's the catch?
The catch is timing. Again, it's a very limited window.
How limited?
The source says the booster period is limited to 30 days from the date of the initial deposit.
Only the first 30 days after you first put money in.
That's it. Your initial deposit or self-positioning. You can't use it later. You can't use it on redeposits. It's a one-shot deal early on.
So another incentive for early, decisive action, and maybe a bigger initial deposit if you want to maximize that boost.
Seems like it. It's about amplifying those first few weeks of potential earnings.
All right, now let's shift gears. The document puts a lot of weight on the referral and community side of things, said it drove early growth, looks quite layered.
It really is. And one thing they stress, the whole affiliate program runs entirely on XRP.
Only XRP.
Yep. All deposits, all payouts, everything calculated and transacted in XRP. No links to USD or fiat mentioned. Purely crypto native.
Interesting. Okay, so how do the referral tiers work? It mentions tiers 1 through 16.
The main way to unlock them is straightforward. Direct referrals. Each person you personally bring in unlocks a new tier.
One direct, tier 1. Second direct, tier 2. Up to 16 directs unlocks all 16 tiers.
That's the primary mechanic described. Bring in 16 people directly. You've opened up the potential earning structure fully.
But it also mentions unlocking tiers through self-positioning or community positioning. What's that about?
Yeah, it suggests there's another path, or maybe a supplementary one. Reaching certain volume levels, either from your own deposits or the total deposits from your team, can also help unlock tiers. It calls this progressive value and collective growth.
So not just who you bring in, but how much activity there is.
Seems so. They give one example. To unlock tiers 4, 5, and 6, you need a combined total of 7,500 XRP in team deposits coming from your first 3 tiers.
Ah, okay. So team volume targets can also open up higher earning levels. It's about building an active group, not just signing people up.
Right. Now, beyond just unlocking tiers, there are these community rewards paid out as X bonuses.
Exactly. The X bonus. And right away, the sheet says it ranges, from X1 up to X5.
X1 to X5, okay. So not just one fixed bonus amount.
Nope. And crucially, the sheet highlights that getting within that range, where you land between X1 and X5, it depends.
Depends on what?
Well, according to this, it depends on 2 key things. Your own self-deposit and also the deposits coming from your community.
Ah, okay. So your contribution, the group's contribution, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
for the community deposits to count towards this X bonus calculation, the total amount, the team volume, as it seems to call it, needs to be distributed in a particular way,
How so?
equally, across 3 distinct wings or, legs of your structure.
3 wings, okay. So it's not just the total community deposit figure.
No, it's the structure. The sheet gives an example, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It says if you have, say, 30,000 XRP in total community deposits,
Okay.
it must be structured as 10,000 XRP in one wing, 10,000 in the second, and 10,000 in the third.
You need balance across at least 3 distinct legs of your team.
Okay, that's a significant constraint. You can't just have one runaway leg carrying you.
Nope. It forces diversified building. You need to develop leaders and volume in multiple lines, not just one. It promotes a wider, maybe more stable network structure.
That makes sense from the platform's perspective. Prevents reliance on just a few key players downline.
It shapes the whole building strategy. And achieving that balanced structure is also the prerequisite for the top reward tier mentioned, the XMen Global Rewards.
Okay, how do you unlock that?
You need to have 3 separate team members in 3 different wings who each qualify for the X5 bonus level, that top community bonus we talked about.
So develop 3 top performers in 3 balanced legs.
Right. Achieving that makes you eligible for global rewards, stated as 10% in the source, presumably a share of some global pool.
And the general rank qualification rules reinforce this.
They do. It explicitly says qualifying for any rank needs volume from 3 different wings, with at least 33% of the required volume coming from each wing.
So that 3-wing balance is absolutely fundamental. It's woven into the entire advancement structure.
It's the core architectural principle for team building in this plan.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. Quick recap of the journey based on the document.
Sure. Getting started. Open an account, connect a wallet, deposit XRP, remembering that timing matters hugely for the airdrop activation, and then you can refer and grow.
Then the key takeaways, the important instructions.
Everything's in XRP, strictly XRP.
Right.
You can pull out your LP profits 24/7, flexibility there.
Good.
That LP boost, the up to 200% one, only in the first 30 days after your very first deposit. Crucial window.
Very limited time.
Okay. Ranks and the bigger community bonuses require that balanced volume across 3 distinct team wings. Can't emphasize that enough.
3 rings, got it.
The zero-risk policy protects your initial deposit principal until you've earned that amount back in LP reward.
The safety net.
And the standard 10% ecosystem contribution applies generally, but not if you exit under the zero-risk policy before recovering your principal. In that specific case, you get 100% of your deposit back, no deductions.
Okay, so we've covered the airdrop activation and its critical timing, the daily LP rewards with compounding tiers based on position size, the short-term boost option, and this really intricate referral plan. Peers, volume-based X bonuses, the crucial 3-wing structure, and global rewards at the top.
It's definitely a multifaceted system, incentivizing both individual participation through LP rewards and that structured, balanced network growth.